Hi there, Jim here. So today I am going to take us through the paces, or take this item through the paces. It is a smart battery charger. It's a 4 amp version. It's made by GooLoo, which is not a company I had heard of until I began looking for a battery charger. Now, a lot of these battery chargers are meant to work on cars and charge car batteries, which is all right. I have a car. But my interest with these 12-volt chargers was to charge these sealed lead-acid gel batteries that are used for UPS power supplies. I've got more UPSs in the house than I care to admit, and sometimes they fail, and it's a little tricky to tell whether it's the UPS that's failed or the battery that's failed. Some of the units have a questionable history. So I began looking for these chargers. I also have got another video that looks at 12-volt battery testers, and I want to be able to figure out the condition of these batteries, and I want to be able to charge them externally to the UPS. Don't ask why. In any case, this particular unit, it's got some features and benefits, stuff like microprocessor control. It does 6-volt batteries, 12-volt batteries, AGM batteries. It can be used as a 12-volt supply, so I guess it can put out 12 volts DC if you're trying to replace a battery. It's waterproof, dustproof, which is important if you're working outside on your car. It's got a bunch of protection here to prevent reverse polarity, short circuits, overcharging, and stuff like that. It's apparently easy to operate. We'll see about that. And of course, a lot of these units need some voltage on the battery in order to charge. This one will go as low as 3 volts, and it'll charge batteries up to 100 amp hours. Now, one of the things, of course, that I was concerned about, and I think it says it somewhere, here, it says that it'll work from 4 amp hours all the way up to 100 amp hours, which is important because most of the batteries that I'm going to be dealing with start at 7 or 8 amp hours. And so now let's open this up. It's all nice and sealed. Find a spot to get into the plastic wrap here. One of these packages where the slides out. So we've got the outer package, the inner package. The inner package comes like that, and there we have a nice shiny charger. You can see the packing pretty well done. There's a piece of foam across the top here to prevent the unit from getting banged up too much as it's shipped, because the cardboard is otherwise not the thickest. There's you can see it's enrich your driving life. So there's a little bag to store the unit in. You probably won't be using that very often. There's a user manual, and of course it's interestingly enough, the user manual is all in English. It's the first manual I've gotten in a long time that's only in English. Okay, so the user manual. Okay. The unit itself, the rest of the box is empty. The wires are all in this other unit underneath. All right, so that's empty too now. So we've got the unit itself. It's got some wires, and it's got this funky little end here, which seems to be pretty common for a lot of 12 volt systems. And of course this standard electrical plug, nothing special there. And then we've got, this is all twist tied together. Okay, so there's a pair of alligator clips. So that'll plug on to that. And of course, this will make sure that when you're connecting it, since this is asymmetric, that you don't mess up the polarity, which is always a good thing. So you don't want to get the polarity wrong. And then good solid alligator clips. Okay. And another unit like this. And it's got some rings. Probably important if you're working with a car. And I imagine, oh yeah, so this part has a fuse in it. So that's a 15 amp fuse. And there are protective covers that come with all of these. Okay. Keep that clean. I'm not going to be using those rings. I'm going to be using these alligator clips. So we connect this. This is sort of foolproof. And of course, you know what they say about foolproof items. We'll just need to create a bigger fool. So those are snugly together. I think that very small gap there, so I think that's pretty safe at this stage. And of course, we've got the connectors. We'll hook up to the battery and we'll plug this in. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, so the instructions for the unit say that the first thing we should do is connect the clips, starting with the positive clip and then the negative clip. So we'll do that. Now it's a little tricky because this is of course intended for car batteries. Okay, so those are connected. And then we're supposed to plug it in and connect it to the power. Plug it in, is what I said, right? So, got that. I'm just going to move this over here. Put that over there so you can see it. And then after it's powered on, we cycle through the modes in order to set the let's plug it in. You can see the display there, starts flashing, 5.2 volts. Now it's remembered it's in AGM mode. We don't want that. We want it to be in gel mode. And 14.3 volts is showing there. That's the target voltage that it has for gel cells. So the difference between these different settings seems to be the maximum voltage that it aims for. So gel, so it knows that it's attached to a battery, and I can cycle between standard, AGM, gel, and LFP, which is for lithium batteries, so I'm not going to leave it there. So standard will charge it up to 14.5 volts. AGM will charge it up to 14.8 volts. Gel will charge it to 14.3 volts. LFP we don't want to deal with. It'll charge to 14.6 volts. So like I say, I'm going to put it on gel. And it's going to charge to 14.3 volts. That's going to take a while. And I guess at some point it'll say whether it's done. Better reading of the specifications. And it turns out that this battery is an AGM, which means I had it set to the gel cell, which was the wrong battery type. And so now I've set it to the AGM mode, and so it's charging to a higher voltage. The thing is that is still disconcerting about this is that it's showing the charging voltage, it's not showing the actual voltage, and the manual says that this is supposed to be the actual voltage. So I'm a little bit discouraged by that. I'm kind of worried that that this may not be suitable for this type of battery. Again, it thinks it's full. I have my doubts, so I'm going to turn it off. Disconnect the leads. Got the fluke. And it's still 13.2 volts. So I think that doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to now. I'm going to do one other thing. Let's see if it puts out 12 volts in its 12 volt supply mode. So I'm going to hook this up. The fluke there. Hook it up there. Okay. Turn it on. The fluke's reading 1.2 volts. If I hold the mode button down, it should go into supply mode. So it's saying 14.1. The fluke says 14.0. Oh, you can't see. So now it's saying supply mode, 14.1. Fluke saying 14.05. So at least that part is operating as expected. So that part works. I think that I may not be able to do what I was setting out to do with this unit. All right, so we'll have a little bit of Jake Tech Labs on location here. We had some trouble with the battery working inside of the sealed unit, so let's see how it actually works for its main intended use, which is charging car battery. So battery in this car doesn't hold the greatest charge, although it does still work. So let's see what we do. So instructions say to hook up the positive and then the negative to the chassis. So let's have a look at that. Okay, there's the positive. So I've connected it to spot in the chassis where the battery connect. So let's plug it in now. And you can see that now it thinks it's a little better. 13 volts. But not quite charged. So it's still going to take quite a while to charge. So we'll have to leave it for a few hours and come back. All right. Well, it's a few hours later. And guess what? Full. So the next thing to do will be to disconnect everything and start the car, see if the battery is functioning better than it was before. Awesome. So first, what we'll do, we'll unplug this and see, it goes out, and you can't really see the attachment point there. We'll disconnect that, and then we'll disconnect the red.